Hello, everyone. Hi, it's Dawn here. Surprise, surprise, with a very short notice live stream. This is going to be a quick video. I'm solo today. Katie is on an airplane on her way home, so hopefully she'll be joining again next week. I am starting to feel a little bit better, still on antibiotics, but I have missed going live with you and chatting with you. I'm going to be on Judy the YouTube's channel, YouTube Lawyer's channel in about a half hour. So join me over there for a little more discussion about this. I am going to share some things that I've kind of learned by watching these police interviews of various criminals and suspected criminals. And today, I'm going to briefly chat about Vallow Daybell, who's on a lot of people's minds right now, and Wendi Adelson, and a couple of things that I noticed by watching both of their police interviews that I've noticed they had in common. So I'll be adding to this list, but I think I have about 20 things. Some of them are really interesting. Some of them are kind of mundane. But I'm learning a lot about people, and I'm learning a lot that helps me in my private life by doing this. So I thought I would share it with you, and you can let me know what you think. So Vallow Daybell, as we probably know, is right now being tried for 2 counts of murder and 1 count of conspiracy to murder. The conspiracy to murder is for her husband's wife. She was his wife at the time of the murder, and Vallow was named as a conspirator, and he is being charged with murder. She's also being charged with full-on murder and conspiracy, for 2 of her children, which is tremendously sad. Tylee and JJ. Now, Wendi Adelson is a named conspirator, but she is not being tried, and she has not been charged yet, as of yet. It may never be. We don't know. So the thing that Vallow Daybell and Wendi Adelson have in common is conspiracy to murder. They're at least named. In one case, one is charged. They both worked with a family member, a brother, which is kind of interesting. So that's one thing. That's one thing they have in common. Not really the kind of thing you want to have in common with someone, but it is what it is. Now, both of them may get their names cleared in a court of law, but we'll find out. Another thing they have in common, number 2, they were both on game shows. Isn't that interesting? Wheel of Fortune for Vallow and The Weakest Link for Wendi. I just thought that was interesting. Number 3, they both have kind of a cheerleader personality. Number 4, really important commonality here is that they both were involved in a nasty child custody battle, which ended up with the ex-husband that they were in the battle with, dead. Now, in the case of Vallow Daybell, she has not yet been charged with that death. That was Joseph Ryan. It is considered a suspicious death. It was in 2018, only a year before Charles Vallow, her husband at the time, was murdered by her brother. So just to make this kind of more confusing, Vallow is also being charged as a conspirator in Arizona, in another state. She is not standing trial as of yet for the conspiracy to murder her husband, Charles Vallow. So, but before that happened, a year before that happened, her ex-husband, for many years, whom she was constantly fighting with in courts, ended up dead. Joseph Ryan. That was Tylee's father. So, number 5, because of all of that, in both cases of the child custody battle that Lori Daybell was in, as well as Wendi Adelson, they both resulted in significant financial gain for them. And that's probably, allegedly, the motive. Number 6, Joseph Ryan. Joseph Ryan, who Lori Daybell has not been charged with murder as of yet. But Joseph Ryan was her ex-husband, who she was in a child custody battle with. He was tased and hurt, and by many accounts, attempted murder. He ended up with a serious back injury as a result of an attack by Lori's brother. Lori's brother also killed Charles Vallow, her husband, in 2019. So in 2018, he attacked one husband. 2019, he attacked the second husband. Both of them are dead. Number 7, both of these special women, Lori Daybell and Wendi Adelson, were basically told they were special their entire life. They were the anointed ones by their mommies. If you look into their family history, that seems to be what happened. Both of these ladies, number 8, both of these ladies were involved in what many who were around them describe as inappropriate relationships with their creepy brothers. Inappropriate or odd, both of them. Isn't that interesting? And in both cases, the brothers were involved in the conspiracies and the murders, allegedly. According to another brother of Lori Vallow's and also a boyfriend of Wendi Adelson, both of them said about the respective women in their lives that they don't respect human life. They don't respect others' lives. Both of them, number 10, both of them were described by people around them as habitual liars. Number 11, both of them have been described by people around them. Again, this is reported, and of course we could say allegedly, because I can't prove that, but I'm just going by what I've read and heard in the police interviews and in the trials. Both of them project lies. In other words, they accuse people of doing the thing that they're doing, which is got to be one of the most annoying things when somebody does that. Don't you agree? Here's a fun one. Number 12, both of them mentioned being in mommy mode or going into mommy mode, in quotes, during their police interviews. Mommy of the year, both of them, right? What do you think? Number 13, both of them disparaged their murdered husband during the police interviews on the day they were murdered. Both of them did that. And that's not alleged, because you can actually see that in the police interviews. I can actually say I heard them both do that. Number 14, both of them were considered to be unfaithful, had multiple romantic partners, and possibly sex addicts. Number 15, both of them prided themselves at having great acting skills and were known by their family members, allegedly, to be performers. Number 16, this one's interesting. Both of them spoke in code with their family members and co-conspirators. Number 17, both of them creatively, how do I say this? Handled their finances with great creativity. In other words, they didn't believe in paying taxes or paying people what they were owed. In many cases, there are lots of interesting anecdotes about each of them being creative with their financial record keeping. Number 18, both of them play the victim card. They have an actually official victim card. No, that's not true. That is not true. That was a joke. But since I'm a graphic designer, I think I might make one up for each of them. Send it to them in their jail when they're both possibly in jail. Well, one of them is in jail. She's in trial, but she's also in jail waiting for her trial to finish and for a decision to be made by the jury. Would not want to be a jury member of either of these cases. Number 19, both of them have a big brother protector. They both called their big brother co-conspirator their protector in their police interviews, or in their police interviews and other times, actually. And we have that on record video. And both of them, number 20, are basically paranoid and say that everyone is out to get them. Those characteristics are kind of interesting. So I would probably agree that many criminals or alleged criminals have a lot of these characteristics. So this isn't probably anything you don't already know, but for me, it's fairly new. And I am loving learning about these qualities, because when we see these qualities in people, not everybody who plays the victim card is going to be a murderer, right? But like the lying, not everyone who lies is going to be a murderer. But guess what? Most murderers are liars. So it's kind of interesting. Actually, on Surviving the Survivor the other day, there was an interesting conversation, a very good conversation about why people are interested in true crime, because I was never interested in true crime until recently. And I have severe PTSD, and I am finding it extremely therapeutic and empowering. But it took me, I'm 62 now. It took me almost my whole life to get to this point where I could even look at these kinds of things, because it was so horrifying to me. It is horrifying still, but I'm also learning from it. And so, although sometimes we are snarky and we want to be entertaining, for me personally, this is extremely therapeutic and useful. So, Lady Cymbeline, hello. It's nice to see you. Isn't that interesting about the game show? And Lady Cymbeline says they both riled up their brothers to be the family savior and then turned a blind eye to their deeds. Yes, and also the mommy mode thing. Yep. So yeah, a lot of interesting. I mean, when I watched these police interviews with Katie, I should have been taking notes, because there were like 100 different things. So I will come back with another 20. But again, I'm gonna log off. This is a short video, and we're gonna jump over on Judy's channel. And we are talking today about Lori Daybell. I have a feeling we'll also talk about the Markel situation, because we always do. And then after that, I'll be on Outback Packers for night 2 of the draft. So join me over there. Lady says, me too, Dawn. I've avoided it for years, and people say it's too sad or too hard to follow true crime. I feel much more brave and aware. I'm also fascinated by morals. I agree. No judgment if you don't want to pay attention to true crime. I can definitely understand that, because again, for 60 years I didn't. But my eyes have been really open, and it like I said, for me personally, it's therapeutic, because I was a victim of a crime when I was a child, when I was very young, by a stranger, and it was very serious. And I think I led a fairly sheltered life, but I'm finding it just tremendously interesting and empowering. And the more we know, the better, about people, if we can use it. That doesn't mean we have to, hate on anybody or anything like that. But the more we know, the better we are in general. So, all right. So that's it. I will be back either later tonight or tomorrow with my second of this series. And I think this is going to be a long series with many, many subjects, but also Alex Cox and Charles Adelson have some very interesting commonalities as well. So, and some of them alleged, but some of them very obvious. So couldn't really argue on some of those, but we'll see. We'll see what you think. I'm dying to know what you all think about this. And I will be back. And I've really missed being on here. So a little at a time, but I will be back with that video and then another live stream soon, maybe even tomorrow. Bye for now.